Hot take, Dignitas might secretly be one of the best teams in the LCS this year, and there's a good chance that no one will even notice. Sitting currently at a 4-2 record at the time of writing, they've actually shown to be a pretty strong and unified team so far, and have not been afraid to try out some spicy picks. The LCS 2021 season has come into full swing, and we've started to see the styles of each of the teams settle in. As with every year, we of course see our favorite top tier orgs break out into the upper part of the standings. However, Dignitas have snuck their way up to the top, and they might actually be better than what the community thinks them out to be. Let's take a quick glance at their overall roster. We've got fakegod in top lane, dardoch in jungle, soligo at mid, Neo at AD carry, and Aphromoo at support. Based on what we see here, we can assume that their team dynamic revolves around their experienced members in dardoch and Aphromoo leading the charge, with their 3 little cadets following them around and playing for the team. Considering that Dignitas went for a developmental approach this season, this is surprisingly a really smart way to build up a cohesive roster. Aphromoo has been a professional player for as long as the league has existed, so at this point he knows how to play into most different rosters and playstyles. Their other veteran in dardoch is definitely a commanding figure, but this can be rephrased into considering him to be a very strong win condition for the team in itself. Considering the young and cooperative styles of the remaining 3 players, the team is able to create the unimaginable in their strong side jungle playstyle. This power dynamic is seen in the draft as well, with the current meme of dardoch picking a new jungler pretty much every single game so far. It's been throwing some really interesting curveballs at their enemies, taking down many of their opponents so far. Since their team is so based around dardoch being able to define the team and its win conditions, being able to save counterpick for jungle is something that's surprisingly decent for this team specifically. Looking at their draft against Evil Geniuses as an example, Dignitas successfully picks around this by allowing themselves to pick as neutral as a draft as possible in the early phases while giving as much information for dardoch's pick as they can. So in this case, EG lead with a B1 Lilia, which is a relatively well-rounded pick, but leaves up the Senatom Kench combo for an easy R1 R2 counter pick for Dig. The combo is exceptionally strong right now in general, and is extremely versatile in most team compositions, so it's a really strong start. An unsurprising Ezreal counter pick into the Senna and a blind pick Narg for B2B3, and a Gangplank pick for R3 round out the first half of the draft phase. The Kayn blind R4 is a wild but actually strong pick for Dignitas here, as it gives dardoch a lot of power to dictate the game, which is especially good considering EG was posturing for a poke comp here. In my opinion, EG also blundered by not adapting to the Kayn pick as well, but there weren't too many normal options. Ezreal plus Seraphine is normally a decent answer into the Senatom Kench in terms of laning phase, but it forces EG to play into Dig's hands here, and does not do a good job of answering the newfound Kayn pick. It's also relatively obvious that EG have to round out their comp with an AD mid laner as well. Dig read into this well by knowing that EG have to play a ranged mid laner too, which further contributes into ensuring a strong blue Kayn composition. Yes, Yone was available here, but that would be an awful pick into Dignitas' comp, which excels in playing back and kiting out fights. Therefore, the only good picks would really be Lucian and Tristana, and EG opt for the Lucian to define a strong mid-jungle combo to carry the early game. Dignitas round out their R5 pick with Zoe, which is a really good answer into their poke. I would have to mention here that EG is also forced to play an AD mid laner. From here, the pressure is basically now on EG to be proactive in making plays, as they likely get outscaled by both of their match scalings on both sides and their inability to properly shut down Dig's comp. Dig's comp is highlighted by the Kayn pick, which can gank anywhere on the map and secure a strong blue form conversion and continue to play for picks throughout the game. I think EG could have adapted better with picks like Blitzcrank to play better into the Senatom combo, or to pick the Seraphine earlier on B3 instead, so it maintains a possible flex pick so that EG have more options in the later stages of the draft if they need it. This could have prevented them from making it really obvious of their mid pick on the draft in B5. Dig's creative drafting continues in their game against Team Liquid. Even though they lost this game, I enjoy their bravery to explore new options in draft and find new ways to slip through conventional methods, which is something that I find that the LCS has trouble with in general. Coming off the bans, Dig gives up the Udyr to Team Liquid for a strong B1 start and then answer with a Gragas Azir combo. These choices are interesting and are most likely a result of the bans that occurred. If we take a look, the first set of bans happened to involve both Gangplank and Gnar being removed, which are the 2 strongest weak side top laners in the meta right now. This leaves only Renekton, Gragas, and Camille as the strongest 3 picks remaining, and since Gragas has the strongest set of matchups overall, it seemed like a best in slot choice for Dig. Azir follows a similar suit here because of his capability of doing well into every strong mid laner right now, and provides a strong amount of flexibility against any engaged TL may bring to the table. TL responds with Renekton and Orianna, and Dig locks Xayah on R3 to secure a really high level of safety for their team, with winning matchups on both top and mid, might I add. The Dr. Mundo pick on R4 is beautiful here because it's a really strong tech choice into the Udyr, giving him essentially free scaling and a lot of free sustain into TL's comp, which lacks any strong percentage damage. They also wrap up with an R5 Blitzcrank to counter the MF Thrush combo that TL locks in. With this comp, Dig has a really strong ability to disengage and counteract any engage TL may try to go for, while still being able to play around picks themselves. While TL may have been more coordinated and beat Dig in the actual games, I believe that this draft was fairly optimal for them in this game, played to dardoch's strengths, and gave them their best chance against one of the current titans in the league. We've seen good examples of the ability of Dig's members to respond to plays and help dardoch get ahead no matter what. In their game against EG, dardoch was late invaded level 1 by Svenskaren's Lilia, but it was responded disgustingly well, with dardoch summoning all 5 Power Rangers to try and answer the invade, which includes a level 1 teleport out of Afroman. This turns a play that was going to put dardoch behind into one that put him way ahead of his enemy jungler, as Svenskaren was put disgustingly behind all of the play. The effects of this continue as he's now able to continuously invade and get picks all across the map, creating a huge amount of pressure once he hits his blue form. With the good records we've seen so far, we have to consider that Dig has only beaten lower class teams in the league so far, with wins against CLG, Golden Guardians, Immortals, and Evil Geniuses. Most of their matches against top tier teams so far have been losses, being taken down by both 100 Thieves and Team Liquid, so their upcoming schedule will be key in seeing if their current strategies are more of a real strategy and not just a random gimmick. However, if we do see that this style continues to work out, it's quite possible that Dig may have been onto something in the offseason without anybody even really noticing. Alright, so that's it from me guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay fresh.